Done. Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and welcome once again. Happy Father's Day to the men who fathered and raised their child, to the men who stuck around when they didn't even have to the men who raised a child not biologically theirs, to the men who know the pain of losing a child, to the men who raise their kids alone, and to the women who are both the mother and the father figure in their children's life. Today, we acknowledge you all. We say we love you. Happy Father's Day. Without any further ado, we'll jump straight to today's program. Thank you so much, everyone. But I'll just like to get a sense of how you're feeling today. Please just go to the chat room and put in an emoji there that expresses how you're feeling. I'm excited. I'm in the fatherly mood. As you can see from my dressing, I'm equally celebrating with our fathers. So just put an emoji in the chat room that expresses how you're feeling today, regardless of your location. I know some of our fathers are out having fun with their family. It's okay. Thank you so much, Greatness. Christmas is feeling very cool today. We have smiley face. Thank you so much, Great. Itoro, wow. Itoro is in a celebratory mode. Itoro, we acknowledge that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing how you're feeling with us. Anyone else, please just go to the chat room. And oh yes, thank you, Tosin. Tosin's feeling love. Yes, that is the atmosphere that we have today, as it is a special day. Thank you. Just let's go to the chat room and then put in an emoji that expresses how we feel. And if there's anyone around you or someone that you know that you believe should be here this afternoon, please feel free to reach out to them and tell them that we are live. Thank you. Omotola says she's feeling relaxed today. It's a cool and calm weekend. Omotola, I suspect that today you have outsourced all mommy stores to daddy because it's daddy's day and daddy now has to take over. I suspect you with this your chat, but it's okay. It's allowed. If they have to do everything in one day, it's okay. It's part of celebrating them. Thank you, Dolapo. Oh, Catherine, Taya, Opatayo. Oh, we have Catherine in the house. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Thanks for your support as always. I mean, I could even feel your support from the emoji that you just shared. Thank you. Okay, so I'll just go right into today's program. Welcome again to my HR Storybook. What do we do here? All that we do here is just to share our life stories, our experiences, no hold back, no hair. We say it the way it is because we believe that God puts us through our journey, not just for our learning, but to impact the world with our experiences. And on that note, I want to appreciate all our guest speakers who have agreed to come on board and share their life stories so that they can impact the lives of other people, and people can listen to them, take learnings, understand what has worked for them, understand what didn't work well, and of course, to take their own learnings. I always say to people, we also have to design our own life. It's not copy and paste. That it's not because someone did it this way, I also have to do it that way. It's you understanding what the principles are and then, update it in code to fit your own purpose. Without any further ado, I would just go ahead and introduce our guest speaker today. I call him Baba T. T Baba. T is someone that I admire so much. I mean, you can see from the profile. The profile is even loaded. Where do I even start from? Unfortunately, I'm not sure I can read this, so I decided to project it so we can all read and have some level of understanding of our special guest today. He's someone that I respect so much. He's very, very smart. I mean, a lot of times when I hear Tayo speak, I'm amazed at the level of intellectual intelligence that he possesses. And on that note, as we can see, Tayo is, I don't want to read it because his profile is, but please just scan through. We can see that he has cross-functional experience, cross-industry experience across various industries. He is someone who is really passionate about leadership, And when we talk about fatherhood, we can't talk about fatherhood and not mention leadership. He's someone who is quite experienced when it comes to the corporate world, and of course, being a father himself. He is a loving father, he's an author, and Taya gives of himself a lot of time in terms of his experiences and the things that he does. As you can see, he outside of work, he is a certified coach, and he also runs a mentoring program. Today, we would like to hear from Tayo himself. I mean, as a father, as a man, did he have it all figured out? We would like to know today. Was it all rosy for him? As a man, have there been times when he's had to sort of manage his ego and take some decisions and face some events in life? Tayo's going to be telling us all about that today. And today's topic, as we all know, is diversity conscious leadership. We can't talk about fatherhood and not talk about leadership. On that note, I'd like to invite T Baba. Why did you remove the filler? Is it already? Are you feeling hot already? Ready to just
Hey, Lara, hi. No, I just got back from church, so yeah, I think I forgot to leave my cap on.
Put it on. I mean, like it that way. It's Father's Day. I mean, a lot of churches, they had to tell fathers to come dressed. I mean, my husband to go Agbada to church today, so it's allowed.
Yeah, I did as well.
Allowed.
I did as well.
Okay, yeah, before you come, I would like to acknowledge everyone in the house, all our seniors, our colleagues. YF, thank you so much for making our time. It's your day. I would expect you to be with your family today, but you've taken our time to multitask. I know you're multitasking, YF, and a lot of other colleagues and senior colleagues in the house. Thank you. So, Baba T, over to you. Tell us about your career journey with more emphasis on being a man. You understand what I mean? How has it all been for you? Thank you.
Okay. So it's first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. The community of my HR Storybook Live Series. I'm excited to be here. I'm also deeply appreciative to my sister, my friend, my colleague, Lara Yeku, who has hosted this consistently, regularly. It takes focus, and it really takes a level of alignment with purpose for you to do things, consistently, especially things that in quote are outside what we might call bringing in bread and butter, meaning it might be outside your core, 9 to 5 work if you work, or your core business if you run an enterprise, right? When you have doing things that have to do with, collaborating with people, building communities, giving back, and then you keep doing it back to back to back to back. It takes lots of commitment. So Lara, we celebrate you today. Today is Father's Day, but we celebrate fathers and the women that love them, right? So thank you for celebrating us today. I'm excited to be here. To everybody on the call and on this meeting, good evening, everybody. I the way Zoom does, so I get prompted on some people. Some others I might not be able to, but I see that a senior is around. YF, my big brother, mentors me in different areas, gives feedback at times when I need them, and just encourages, always there for us. We celebrate you today, and happy Father's Day as well, YF. All right, so let's get into it. So Lara, you've asked how far it's been. So the truth of the matter is that to be a man, to be of the male gender is not bins, right? So it's not the ride in the park. It requires a lot of reflection, lot of grit, lots of evolving, lots of not giving up, lots of staying with the journey as individual of us might have it, you know, and as designed for our lives, right? And that cuts across 360 degrees. So it means that in career, in business, in social relationships, and family relationships, we don't always have it easy. And so for me, I've also not always had it easy. There have been bumps on the road. There have been curveballs. There have been lemons, right? Slippery lemons, right? So to speak, and banana peels, right? But we're where we are, and we thank God for that. So, Lara, what do you, how do you want this? Should you just want me to shoot in and move away into the discourse you want us to, or how do you want to run this?
Yeah, so it's really around sharing your experience with regards to, I mean, I hear that, yes, it's been bumpy, you know. Is there any specific experience that you want to share to just call that out for us?
Fantastic, yeah. Fantastic. All right, so so there are lots of things packed into my journey so far, right? As a professional, so I do many things. So let me give context so that you then understand how I'll build on it and how I'll delve into diversity conscious leadership. There's a lot of parts about me, and so I have journeyed always wanting to build people. And so for me, I'm one of those people that intentionally went into HR. I didn't get into HR by like default, like just found myself in HR. Doesn't make me better than other HR professionals. That's just my own story. So I'm one of those people that said, okay, this is what I'm passionate about. This is my interest. What career can platform this interest, right? And then I started researching, and then I found HR, and then I said, okay, what's my entry strategy? So that's my story. But then as I journeyed in different phases of life, I found out that there was more to me to express. So right now, I do like minimum of, I think about 12 things, all going on the go. So I 3 years ago, I decided that to be effective in everything I do, I need to run myself like an organization. So I have a PA that is not paid by my 9 to 5, right? A PA that is PA to me and runs me across everything I do. So I have a 9 to 5. I have a consulting firm that I am on, and I still provide advisory to. I have 2 NGOs that I sit on and I'm actively involved in. I have a mentoring forum that I'm actively lead mentor, and even though it's community-led, I get very much involved. And there was a mentoring meetup on June 13. That was also a success. I am running some initiative. One is called 40 to 40 Leadership Initiative, whereby I'm raising 40 volunteer trainers to train 40 other people on leadership, right? So that within a course of 4 months, we can have like 1,600 people training leadership. I have a platform for scholarship called TOSA, the Opatayo Scholarship. So I asked myself, how can my profession, HR, benefit from me, specifically towards HR? How do I give back? And then TOSA was born in giving scholarships, right, to people younger HR professionals. So I remember that my own story started when my first real job, I would draw my salary and put it in a white envelope, right? And guess what? It was from that white envelope that I would I'll be removing transport money, lunch money every day till it ended. Because what was the point of keeping that money in the bank anyway? Because it wasn't really much, right? So so it made me think back and wonder that, okay, there might be some young ones too who might be in the situation I was about 15, 16 years ago. And then how do you help them if they are interested in taking, the CIPM exam, which is our own national body of knowledge. So I do that. And then I'm also, I'm a minister in a faith-based organization, and I provide very active oversight for some couple of ministries and groups. So quite intense around me. I'm an author. I write actively, and then I'm also a coach, right? So and then a trainer anyway. All right. So all these things wrapped into one in the context of my life hinges on just one principle. And the principle 3 years ago became, if not dropping every other thing and starting to live by it, right? So it was part of a life value, right? A core value for me, but it's no more a core value now. It has evolved into everything that revolves around my being, right? So Kobe Bryant passed on, right, with his daughter, and he hit the world differently. But this is the way he hit me. He hit me, someone I'd never met, someone that we just woke up one morning and we heard about the crash of him, his daughter, and some couple of friends that were on that flight with them. And the whole world was shaking. And then we then started hearing things about this young man, KB, right? And people, mentors, Michael Jordan talked about him, fellow players, seniors that had gone on the basketball industry, Shaq O'Neal and all those guys, right? And I asked myself 2 questions. If I had 1 year to die, year to live before I passed on, what would I want to start in my lifetime that even if I don't finish it in my lifetime, it's okay, but I want to start, and I want to start it well and lay a foundation. And then I asked myself the second question, what would I want to start and I want to complete in my lifetime in that 1 year? These questions for the last 3 years have formed everything that has anchored my being and the way I live. And it wasn't about fearing dying anytime soon. No, it was just that someone passing away globally, right, helped me to refresh, review, and reframe some things about my own life. And then I began more intense journey in the study of leadership, which is where I'm called into, irrespective of the fact that I'm an HR professional, okay? And so one of the things that I've journeyed through is diversity in leadership. And I started where I started from, because explain all the things that I do, not to add any jara to all the things you read on the profile, no, but to give you context of some of the things I'll be saying and where I'm coming from. When you look at it, you could say that I'm going to share my perspectives and my story around six traits of diversity conscious leaders, right? And what I've learned, what I've not gotten right, what I just got right maybe 1 or 2 years ago, or just got better in, 2 or 3 years ago, and other ones that maybe I'm still struggling in, right? But the essence is that I'm on a journey, and I know that these things are pointers to living right, to being right, right? Now, the truth of the matter, guys, is the fact that whether we like it or not, leadership is key in our sphere of life. When we transit this world, the concept of leadership doesn't exist in the spiritual, irrespective of the faith we belong to. But while we're here on earth, the requirement for people to understand first why they exist, that also they have potential to bless humanity and to bless themselves, that also they have potential that can be exchanged, right, for some resources, either money or in kind, that can help them, survive, and have some success and some good enjoyment in life. Fantastic, right? But beyond that is also that people will need inspiration. People will need motivation. That the context of everything we're going to face in life, right, we require at different times, people going through phases of life that some might give them meaning, right? Some might give them momentum, right? And then they need to be able at times to be guided. And that also, rounding off this part, that we are double-edged in the way we live. This is what I mean. We're a coin with two sides. The fact that as we lead, we are also being led. And also that for people we call leaders, the best of leaders are actually the best of followers. So you find the best of leaders doing what? Leading, following people or a cause. That has been my story so far. But in the journey of my story, I discovered that one of the most powerful things is being able to be conscious of diversity. But it's been able, so I would say directly that I knew it in theory, right? I knew it in theory. Or if you tell me, oh, diversity is good. As a faith-based person, I quote scriptures, which is what my own faith, what we refer to. And I'm sure even in Islam, there are places in the Quran that, you know, Muslim brothers and sisters might be able to refer that address leadership, right? Or the fact that, oh, group of people, you know, it's good to do things with people. Don't be an island on your own, you know, have different kinds of should I say, of advice or counsel and all. So I knew all those things, okay? As someone also that grew in career, that was a professional, of course, you go for trainings, you read books, you participate in seminars, in the workplace, you get all these things, and you have an idea that after all, you're not even doing your work yourself, right? You're not doing all yourself. You're either reporting to someone is reporting to you, sometimes you're even reporting, you even have to dual reporting lines. The organization you work for, you are leading or you even founded, it's not even only about you. So yeah, you could say, I understand the fact that diversity is good, but I had not gotten to a place of, so I was at a place of awareness, okay? I had not moved to a place of actualization, right? And the place of actualization is a place where you own something. So it's beyond what I knew, but beyond what I was willing to live out, okay? And so this part of my journey of having and knowing about the importance of being conscious about diversity as a leader, having led teams, like I said, so going back to the different things I said that I do. So imagine I have a mentoring community that has about 250 people on the WhatsApp group in 8 countries and in 4 continents, all right? Community led by 10 people, right? That are professionals or entrepreneurs themselves. And then having the different things that I do that actually you have people running them. So what my PA does is actually to always follow up. Theo wants to say, what are you guys doing on this? I need a report and all. That's why I said I run myself like an organization, which has helped me. Practically, the things I do like directly myself, apart from my 9-to-5 job, are number one, I don't delegate my content, meaning my authoring. When I write or I research or I meditate and all. Number two, I've struggled with it. My wife has told me many times, when I have so much to do, why don't you allow someone to just research on your slides, right? And then you can now build up the way people know you to build excellent decks, right? And I tell her, sorry, there's no how senior I get, right? I can't because it's actually one of my core, right? So I can't really, but so imagine someone interfacing with people on different levels, right? And knowing that people are fundamental to success in the workplace. People are fundamental to success in groups. People are fundamental to success in communities, but not even getting to actualize and yet live out that understanding of diversity. So that was my journey. So I find myself violating some of the 6 traits of a diversity conscious leader. And I'll run through the 6 traits for us. When I came into this, right, about 2 years ago, I course corrected, and I can confidently say that I'm on that great journey and I hope somebody also will begin that journey today. You might find yourself to have moved a bit ahead, or to have, add some more consciousness of some more than the other, right? So the first thing that I got to know and to accept that if I needed to unleash the power of diversity, because the power of diversity is very, very it's very, very big, great, whatever word, big word you want to use it, right? Use for it. What I'm trying to say is that even there is a part in the scriptures that I believe in that talks about let us, right, make man in our own image. There's also the part of scriptures that talked about a story of some people that wanted to build something, a tower. And scriptures made us understand that because they were in one accord, group of people, diverse people, right? It was already seen by God that, imagine, unity represented to God that this is a done deal. So imagine them, they would not probably have known that there's still more struggles, there's still more curves they're going to navigate. But the fact that God saw their unity, in God's mind, no matter the obstacle these guys face, they will build this thing and it will reach heaven because of unity. And God did what? God's splinter scattered them. Okay? But what God did was not, it wasn't about diversity, right? And we get there, right? The fact that you have different people doing different things, okay? Excuse me. The fact that you have many people doing different things doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, okay? And it doesn't really mean they're getting things right. There's something that should unify people. So I'm going somewhere. So one of the first things was that curiosity, which is one of the first, I'm going to use 6 C's, sorry. Curiosity, right, which is a big trait in diversity conscious leaders. I found myself, I wasn't curious enough. And let me break this down. Meaning the opposite of this was that I had unconscious bias. Okay, so as a leader, and guess what? Let me help you with this. We all have unconscious bias. We still do, but let me say I had too much. Let me put it that way, because basically until we die, right, we will still have, we'll still be unconscious bias like a moving target. You understand? By the time you get feedback, you know that, oh, this one I have unconscious bias. You understand? You correct it, and then you move into a content. You can move to a new location, a new job, make a new friend, meet someone new, right? Get a new task, and unconscious bias just plays in that you might not have had before. So it's a moving target, right? But I think that it's that way so that you can keep having the drive for growth and development, okay? So I had unconscious bias a lot about things. So start picking what you pick, because what I would say is that unconscious bias, the kind we have and the type we have, ties into many things: our background, the way we're brought up, our exposures, the things that do you know that until some of you started work, you still had unconscious bias that science students are brilliant than art students? Because why? Because the conditioning, right? The conditioning that we had from secondary school, right? That some of us born in the 70s or in the 80s, right? The conditioning was that, and then you had the bias as well, that what if you found a young 10, 11, 12-year-old that could speak well, not natural confidence, okay, could express himself or herself, needed guide and all, where literally and debating cannot be in science. How? So it was programming that they could talk, they like to. So I had some things. What were mine? I had things about maybe just assuming that people were not serious about their lives. Okay, so you now see everything tying together. I wonder if I just said this without some content I built. Why would you just assume that people are serious with their lives? But I've tried to build a foundation of telling you all the things I do, the kind of person I am, right? I have a landmark birthday coming up sometime this year, right? I've been planning for that birthday for 5 years. My wife said, who does that? Like, who does, like, remembering something, sending it on the document on the cloud? I said, okay, this is what I'm going to tell the event planner, this is how it's going to be, and all that stuff and stuff like that and all. I have it. I have when I'm going to get my PhD and when I'm going to get my DBA. I'm that kind. It doesn't make it like good or bad. It is the way I'm wired. So you can understand the kind of, when I'm having conversation, maybe with colleagues in the workplace, oh, you know, they're still getting themselves. In my head, I'm like, you know, I just said, this one was serious. Permit non-Yorubas. It means that this person is not serious. You know, and what that means is that I was violating the law of curiosity. It means that because when you are not, when you don't want to be curious enough to know people's context, you know, to know why maybe they have such disposition or why they've done what they've done, or said what they've done, or said what they've said, right? What happens is the fact that you have a sort of bias that you might not even know, you know, is there, you know, and might not help you unless the different giftings and talents people have to the fullest for a common goal. Because we're linking this in different contexts. So you can say I'm trying to ensure that it's not one way, linear. So we're linking it to our workplace, we're linking it to family, we're linking it to businesses we run, we're linking it to our existence as fathers now, as leaders. So it's possibly also as a father that, or as a male intending father already, you might not have fathered the child, but you have a niece, you have a nephew, you have something that we're not also curious enough to people that are close to us in our ecosystem. And we find ourselves that unconscious bias does not help us in either deepening the relationship we have with them, or even strengthening a resolve or a goal that we can achieve together with them, you know. And the more this hit me, the more I started to find a way to correct it. Trying to have active listening skill more with people helped me. Starting to understand also that people, because there has to be answers to all these problems, starting to understand that everybody is on different parts on their journey, right? Help me, okay? One other thing about curiosity was that, you know, because I'm very intense, right? And I'm very excellent in what I do, I get the feedback a lot. Anything I commit myself to, I want to go to extra mile, I want to be outstanding. I tell people, excellence is petty. That's the truth, right? Excellence is petty. Petty with what? Petty with attention to details. Excellence is petty with attention to details. That's one of my own mantra, right? I want everything high. Of course, it has its flip side. Like the fact that I had a target of how many books I wanted to write and publish. I've just been able to publish, I think, about 4. Because guess what? I'm always coming back and say, this is not good enough and all. But also, one of the things I've learned in my journey is that you might keep writing. You don't have to finish writing before you stop writing. So that's for someone here who is intending to publish a book, right? You don't have to finish it before you stop and publish, okay? If you're like me, that we want to dot all the I's and cross all the T's and go back and go back and go back and go back and go back. And I'm not talking about grammatical error, but you just say, this thought doesn't have to keep refining and all that. You find yourself. So what happened with me was that because I was like that, I had people that I was impatient with, okay? So when people come and they don't give my level of quality or excellence, I get put off, I shut down. And do you know the word I shut down? In my early years as a manager, 7, 8 years ago, guess what I would do, guys? I go collect the work and do it myself. Because instead of shouting or fighting, I go collect the work and do myself. I will even be dramatic. I'll collect the work, do it myself, right? When I finish the work, if I'm sending it out or something, I will copy it for your phone and keep in your record. So you see the quality of work that I've spent time in doing, right? That you should be doing. I'm wasting my hours and all. But guess what? Over time, I discovered that number one, it will even it dragged me in being able to achieve other strategic things that I needed to do. It didn't also help the people that I felt that could learn, could grow, could do things better. So in the end, right, it was double jeopardy, right? Wanting my people to perform, not be ready to wait, right, and allow a development curve. And then guess what? In the end, I can't perform my optimal. In the end, the people are not learning. So double jeopardy, right? So those are one of the things that I faced. Number two, the second C was cultural intelligence, right? But guess what? On this unconscious bias, believe me, I'm now super curious. As in I want to ask people wonder why sometimes I seem to be a very formal old school person. I see one leg between YF's generation. For those who might know YF on the call, myself and Lara were the same generation. YF is not of our generation. That's Yemi Fashion, right? It's not our generation. Myself and Lara.
How do you know I'm not a Gen Z? Hello.
They are not how can you be a Gen Z? You know, so but now we know that our local, right? It's our local generation, right? The YFs of this world are handing batting over. Okay, right. But guess what? Even though I had those contexts and all, now people feel that, is it about the fact that the way the world is, that when you see people, you don't judge and all? I said, it's not only about that. I have been through a personal journey of working on my unconscious bias, right? And trying to see everything, you know, that why are people behaving this way? Some people still have things like, you know, bias against people that have tattoos, bias against people that pierce their nose, bias against people that pierce their tongue, bias against people that stuff and all. I discovered that some of those things, right, you believe that they are not big deal, okay? But some people see them as big deal, okay? And over time, you find yourself, when you open up your mind, you are able to accept people. And don't forget that we are leading this to leadership, right? Something hits me. Let me end this with one Yoruba adage, and I will translate or try to translate in English. My spiritual father, my pastor, was speaking one day, and he said something like, oh, he too heard recently one adage, and it hit him. And he said, oh, agbatio bakim binu nyome manpo, right? It means that an elder that doesn't quickly get angry has many children, or there are many people that rally or easily come around the elder or stuff, right? So let me spin that in the context of unconscious bias, right? And being curious to know more about people. Is the fact that a leader that is more open, you know, to diversity, not only in gender now, but in the way people think, the frame, how they see life, you know, that what I call almost the 5 G's, their theology, their biology, their physiology, their psychology, right? Their sociology, meaning how they emotionalize things, how they relate to people, right? And their philosophy, what they see about life, right? If you are more open, okay, to things that are different from what we believe in, okay, you will be able to attract and call to yourself so that you can have more people in your space, helping even you to fulfill your own vision or your own mission, or collaborate with you on goals that can be corporate goals in the workplace, goals that can be personal goals on personal assignments, or goals that can be, you know, communal goals, so to speak. The second is cultural intelligence, stereotype. So I used to stereotype people a lot, okay? And, you know, once I frame someone, oh, because this person, oh, I've had this person must be also this, you know, but I discovered that it sets me up. So guess what? I used to get surprises. People would just behave in a way I wasn't prepared for, that if I'd been prepared for it, I could have optimized it. Do you understand what I mean? But I stereotyped them, I boxed them, okay? And because I boxed them, I did not deploy enough cultural intelligence and when we talk about culture, it's not only about artifacts, it just means culture. What's culture? DNA, core values, the things that people hold there and helps them to behave the way they behave, right? And all that and stuff. I was stereotyping people. And I want to know, do you know some kind of people that have stereotyped people that caused, that's why we did one hashtag and something, right? So we can see how, yeah, someone said they shocked me. Yes, so my sister, they shook me, they shocked me, right? But I'm sure yourself, you try to start seeing in different areas of your life how these things would have played out. But I started to work on them, and it's helped my leadership journey a lot. Commitment. So I find myself, because I was doing many things at the same time, that in being able to ensure, number one, that I'm conscious about what different people have, different people can bring to table, different people I can also give to different people. So it's a two-way thing. You cannot say that you are diversity conscious as a leader by only expecting from people, right? So you understand that, yes, different people, different age, different race, different background, different career journey, different business entrepreneurial journey, different way of thinking and all. But guess what? It's also about you, how you also share yourself with the world, okay? So first of all, even leadership is about service, actually also. Leadership is also sharing part of yourself. So if you are diverse culture, you should be able to understand that everybody cannot take me as I am. It means that I need to be conscious about even the diversity in people and how I serve myself or present myself to the different kinds of people, so that I'm actually meeting their needs in a day. Because why? The way I'll meet A's need and serve A, that A will feel served, will be different from the way B will feel served. No, it's narcissistic. If I feel that, no, you must accept and be satisfied with the way I've served you just because A has accepted it and is satisfied. No, that cannot be, okay? And it helped me on my leadership journey to understand people. And that's why I can know who helped me, who on my team. If I don't go for the birthday, it's not so much a big deal than who the person that I don't call on my team. And it's telling the spouse, maybe she's telling me, oh, my Theo, is calling, my line manager is calling, and that one call, takes the call, and I go, oh, how are you? Sorry, you couldn't, yeah, we miss you and all, but thank you for calling and all those and stuff and all. I know who on my team, those kind of calls are priceless to the person. I know the person that if he's in Ikorodu, I better show up, because that's what he gets her on the next work day, like over the top, geared up, even if the board has bashed us on the last board meeting, geared up, ready to go and to soldier up towards the corporate mission. So this started helping me, I started having a mantra of less is more. Less is more in commitment, in focus. Less is more. How do I'm doing many things. What I do, and if you now see everything I do 12 things. But guess what? There's something at the middle of everything. Building people. Leadership, so mentoring, coaching, authoring. In fact, when I'm like Lara said, oh, Tayo, what do we speak on? I said, it has to be around leadership, right? When I get called to speak, to train, to even coach, right? I don't. To come and coach on stuff, soft skills, customers, even juicy pay, when I can have the time down on weekends and all, I turn them down. Can I refer an A-rated or A-list trainer for you? But if it's outside leadership performance, leadership development, succession planning, how leaders can build the right culture and everything, I'm game, right? But outside the core, count me out. That's the level of focus I needed to get to. So I can do 50 things around my core. But what I've done as I've evolved is understanding that, even as is me, because we're talking about diverse conscious leadership. And you can see that I'm talking on many things. Like I said, the story. So I intentionally, not structured, I didn't have a structure, okay? Because I'll just turn this into one facilitation class, right? So I intentionally came that I'm downloading, right?
So we know that leadership is 360 degree, and the highest form of leadership is self-leadership. So even for me to be best at leading people externally in a diversity conscious way, I must be able to lead myself well, even in a diversity conscious way. It means that every core about me, even the various things that I diversify into, I must be able to optimize it to get the best for myself. Like, you know, self-care is different from selfishness. In fact, it is selfishness as a leader if you don't take care of yourself. Do you know why? Because you are not taking care of your body, your mental health, your emotional health enough so that you are the best of yourself to give to people. Okay? So when we say self-care, just quickly that's it. Self-care is how do I care for myself, not focus on myself only, but how do I think of myself? But I'm thinking of that, how do I make myself the best? Right? If I need to rest, if I need to chill out, if I need to do this, if I need to spend more money on myself, to know that I can be fit and become the best, offer myself as a resource to others. So guess what? I follow the natural lessons more. That I would not only breath, right, which is enough, but deep, so that everything that I branch out at is from what? Is from a deep-rooted source. Okay? So courage. Okay, and I want to end with this. So I've learned to have what I call vulnerable courage. I tried to Google it, but I didn't see anywhere anybody has used the word vulnerable courage before, right? Because when I was in the car, you know, coming, I said, oh, I would like to speak on this, and then I tried to Google it, and then nothing came up, right? So because in leading diverse people, right, courage is needed. Even courage is needed in any form of leadership anyway. But I think that on my own journey, vulnerable courage has helped me. What do I mean by vulnerable courage? I've seen courage that makes people feel that our leader has got everything together and our leader is perfect. And that's when sometimes, when some things come into limelight about some leaders, right, expectations are shattered. But I've also seen templates or examples or models of people that have shown humanity, vulnerability, even while being courageous. And they've said, okay, there's the boldness, there's the courage to take this. But I know that I'm human. I know that I've made errors. I know that I've made mistakes, but I need to go for this. I'm not a politician. I don't campaign for anybody. There's one young man, right? I will not mention his name, okay? That they tried to rob him of one seat or something. And then they came back and told us that he actually won again. They did the recount, right? And I was watching one of the guys' presentation. So he does lots of speaking now. They invite him because he's in the media and entertainment space, right? And one of his presentation I saw started with that he has overcome not feeling qualified, right, to speak to people about having focus for their lives, about this, that because, so he said, if you want to see my errors, go to YouTube. They're still there because the internet never forgets, right? So you could go to YouTube, you see all my errors. You see the things I did in the club. You see everything, right? My rascality, you see them. They're on the internet, they're on YouTube. Because of course, I'm a media star. I'm not only known in Africa, I'm known, in different parts of the world, right? But on my journey, I needed to own it and come out courageous and said, while that is the past, I am human and this is vulnerable me, but I still need to do what I still need to do. And I still need to ask for people, right, to do what? To believe in me, to rally me towards a cause, for us to do different things together. That's one of examples I can pick. Yeah, and I wanted to pick something that would resonate in our own space, okay, in our generation. So I've learned to be vulnerable. I've learned to be able to say that I might not have the best of answers, but this has to be done. I've learned how to pass across messages while leading diverse teams, in being able to say, we need to do this, and this is the reason why we need to do it. So one thing I noticed over time was that people are in different curves of accepting diversity. So you would think that in a group, when you talk about diversity as a leader, everybody should be accepting. Not necessarily so. People have all these things, starting first of all with unconscious bias. So I've been in a team where people just felt that the balance of, they also that this is an HR team. Why should male and female gender be the same ratio? You would have even felt it was okay to say same ratio, right? The argument was that, oh, even if I go into the Nigerian HR space, you have more females than male, right? And why should, in this last team, why should you have been in such a team? Why should you have, more males than females, okay? I've been in a team where, excuse me, people have advocated for some particular background of people because they said that with data, they've noticed that those people have done better, right? In recruitment and after they come inside, promotion, IPO level. But they've also not taken into factor some other context, okay? So one of the things I remember then, 7 years ago in that organization, that I posed the question in a think tank meeting was this. Oh, so-and-so people from different schools, right? They do better from this from this school. I said, accepted, right? But we can't just agree on this, right? Have you tried to profile the kind of background these other people also have? Because some people that you might call outliers, they might not necessarily be so, okay? So it means that irrespective of the university some people go through, okay, they might actually also come out and do well. So let me give you a good example. I love Harvard, right? I love Harvard, right? I feel Harvard is the best school in the world. My kids are going to attend Harvard by God's grace, right? I love Harvard. But I jokingly always say, oh, Harvard is a scam, right? And the reason I say this, I don't say it to derogate at, I just give it for context. So I said this, I say a school ensures that both his BSc first degree and MBA and all that, their recruitment process looks at the 360-degree human person, not only academics, right? They look at different things, leadership, ability, pressure, the things and all. And then they recruit them and put the Harvard stamp on them. So what they've done is they've looked at people that actually have 99% chance of succeeding at anything they said they have to do because of what they passed through. Yeah. So they've looked at people that had good grades while in school, meaning that discipline to study, blah, blah, blah. And not only that, people that, oh, they put it, I'm involved in one NGO, teenagers NGO. I'm involved in one music something. I play the flute. I'm a sport man. I play for my college or something. So they've looked at people that, and they've profiled really success factors, right? That are generic, right? So everybody in life, right? That will guarantee that, except even if we follow from village, it will still be hard to catch up with those people. And then they say, oh, we make this the bar of standard to admit any people. That is why Harvard, Stanford, MIT will still produce people that are the HR. It doesn't mean that the school makes them smarter than other people. No, it just means that the school has tried to sieve people who have gone through some experience that have forged them in a way that they may be able to, and they've had some knowledge and awareness of confronting some kind of peculiarity in a problems, rather, in a more determined way than some of us. So all this have gone into how I process things on my journey. And it has made me more aware that people are different, that people grow at different level, that while people go at different level, people grow at different things at different levels. So you might find someone, you profile 5 people, you find they grow at different levels. When you drill down again and you pick different things, you find out that the level at which people grow at A might be different from the level they all grow together at B and they all go together at C, okay? I've also been able to learn from my own mistakes, all right, that the key thing is, and I'll leave with this, is to understand cognizance. Cognizance is that I don't, we call it different things in HR, right? One of the things we say is halo effect, okay? You know what our halo effect is? It applies in appraisals, it applies in recruitment, right? You know what halo, that, whether I like it or not, it's scientifically proven that you can get into something you don't understand, like psychological at work, and might make you favor someone, right? That's the halo effect, right? And how now? You're a recruiter, someone walks in, you share the same birthday. Already, if you don't quickly gather yourself, you'll be finishing the answer interview questions for the person, right? Because we all love to meet our birthday mates, guys, right? And all. So exactly. So you already know, halo effect might be at, so someone enters, you can smell it, that where's your brand of perfume that you love and all. Whether I like it or not, halo effect can start working, right? So, but cognizance works in a way that says that I am aware that if I'm not careful, in saying I want to build diversity, I look for mini-me's to put on my team. And I've fallen into trap of that. I think 7, 8 years ago, you know, I led a team and I needed to resource 4 people and then 1 later into the team. And because I was building a team from the scratch, and they were all mini-me's. My people was catastrophic. From the 3rd month, it was catastrophic because all of them were mini-me's. So I got into that trap of recruiting mini-me's into the team and all. And of course, now it didn't work out. There were fights. How now? You know, in fact, balls were dropped on different things, different levels. Okay, so I've learned my diversity to be a diversity conscious leader, that I need to look for people that it's not all about being a mini version of me, or, you know, I remember myself 10 years ago, I see myself 10 years ago in you, I see myself 5 years ago in me. That might be good, but I look for people as well that complement what I have, you know, and that I also complement what they have. And that's helped me in my leadership journey. Thank you.
Wow. Professor Tayo, wow. You have just taken us through an intense learning on diversity conscious leadership, sharing your story. And I must say that I love the dimensions through which you brought in your perspective. You took it all from a place of learning, you know, from a place of vulnerability, from the things that, from your mistakes, in quotes, from your failure and how you failed forward, learning from your failures, talking us through the various seeds. Because of our time, I might not be able to read through everything, but thank you so much, Tayo. That was quite deep for me, and intense and impactful learning from you there. Thank you so much. I don't know if we have any questions in the house before. Okay, we have one question here from Amao Ganiyu. It reads, thank you, sir. You have touched on many areas of diversity. Let's zero in all this to Nigerian work environment. Do you think men are being biased against unnecessarily by women? Secondly, how do we ensure merit while still accommodating diversity in recruitment, most especially at the CISO level? Thirdly, don't you believe that men are being biased against now in the workplace? What we hear now is women, all sort of women, gender inclusive initiatives that are targeted more at women. So the men are asking, do they feel left out in the workplace? Do they feel heard in the workplace? We'd like to have your response to that question.
So I just thank you. I'll just go sharp quickly. Do you think men are being biased against unnecessary by women? So there are many school of thoughts to that, but I would say that women are evolving too. And when there's an evolution going on, you would definitely have different expressions, right? Until, in a way, things become clearer. This is what I mean. So you find some people say, I'm a feminist. Some then say, I'm a feminist, but I am not, hardcore or something. So the evolution going on is that, it's the evolution of one word, equality, right? So I think that it's a journey women are going through. And when I say different expressions, so you have people that say, I'm a hardcore feminist. You have people that say, I'm a feminist, but I'm not hardcore, I'm this and that. So I think that it's all, they're all expressions ongoing, and that over time, people will plug themselves into what they feel resonates with their own ideals and values. But don't let's forget that one word, equality. So if you ask me that, are we being biased against women because they want equality? So I'm not speaking from a faith-based perspective, I'm speaking from a workplace perspective. If I'm speaking in a church, it might be different. I might start going into men and women that are the same before God and all those things, right? But I'm not taking it from that point. I'm speaking from workplace. So workplace, career, business, corporate. So even if it sounds like alignment or against what might be said in any faith-based, just know that it's nothing about faith-based, right? So I want my own response, right? So I don't think so. I don't think that there's a bias against us from women. I think women are on their journey for equality because, and I also think that in different climes, that journey has matured differently in different climes, okay? So in developing nations or developing world, the journey has matured differently than in Asia, than in core Arab or Middle East countries, than in than in Northern America, US, Canada, or Europe, right? But I think that journey of equality is what women are on, and I don't think there's a bias, is meant to be biased against men. Number two, secondly, how do we ensure merit while still accommodating diversity in recruitment? So, so I heard different things, right? People say, you've seen programs that will say, oh, this program for something engineers, we want only women. The organizations that have run them, BKU, Schlumberger, Big Tech, Big Pharma, they've run programs that maybe due to they look at their data and they see that, wow, gender diversity as regards gender, okay, there is some gap and they will want to close that gap, okay, as much as they can, not perfectly close, but maybe close as much as they can. And one way to close might be to do two things: to actually look at promotion opportunities or merit for people that are of the female gender, right? And also get more context of the female gender into specialized recruitment program. I don't think merit necessarily has to be sabotaged. So what people say is this: oh, when you have all women and all, what if you are denying guys that are qualified for that position? That's the truth. I know. But also, let's throw in another act. Either is a guy or a lady that gets the job. Is the person not going to deny another candidate for getting the slot? So really, really, irrespective of if a guy or a lady, a male or a female comes in, somebody else too will be denied the slot, because you cannot take everybody on earth in every recruitment project, right? And the truth is that even qualified people that are married that can get into organization, you still pick the best, the people you feel that are the best of the best, right? Right? Based on your own assessments, your own recruitment process and all, you still pick who you feel the best at the best. So guess what? The argument that, oh, we might be denying some guys that are on merit, even if it's all male you pick, right? The male will still deny some other guys that are on merit. So if any organization now resorts to, oh, for a period of time,
we want to focus on a particular gender, male or female, right? For whatever reason to bring in and all. I don't think it denies merit. It narrows the pool in which the organization draws their talent from, but it doesn't deny merit. Because in the end, irrespective of the gender, when you are recruiting, once one person states one slot, another person that might be qualified is denied. Okay, so how do we? I didn't say.
The third question: don't you believe that men are being biased against now in the workplace?
Quickly, just saying that.
The third question: so. Can you hear me, Tayo?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So I don't think so. I don't think so. Like I said, it's an evolution going on, clamor for equality. I think men should feel even more confident. So I feel that men are feeling sort of threatened. That's what I think. Some men, not all men, right? Oh, why are women, climatizing for this? Why are they doing this? Why are they blah, 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 and all that and stuff. Women are actually saying our locum, right? All over the world, right? So in the last 10 years, decades, that our local movement has been gathering momentum, right? In different contexts all over the world. And I don't think it means that men are being biased against, okay? Women still have a long way to go. In fact, what I think is that in diversity conscious leadership, women should actually not only be supporting women, should be pushing initiatives, right? That make, as regards gender in the context of diversity, because diversity covers more than gender, right? But as regards gender, women should be at the forefront of pushing more gender diversity, right, in the workplace. Okay, that's what my thoughts are. Because the truth is the fact that so my own service today, we had a former psychologist and renowned person in Africa, Dr. Lara Yeku, spoke, and he talked, one of the things he said was about the right brain and the left brain. And one of the context he talked about was, femininity and masculinity, how the two is in every one of us, actually. And talking to fathers, it was like, to be the best, to have to unleash the best of your fatherhood, you have to also embrace womanhood. How the content that speaks to womanhood, the right brain, talks to creativity, intuition, being calm, patient, and all those things, because it talked about two energies, right? And that's why I'm using that to respond. And I guess what? You get it more from the female side, right? Of course, one should not be extreme to the other, right? But that the fact that the men have had domination of the left wing that goes for, going external, go and conquer, go and dominate, go and rule, go and do so, does not mean that, hey, even when you raise children, when you're an uncle to your nephews, in your workplace and all, you don't embrace some intuitive part, some creative part, it's never about our organs alone or our genitalia. It's never, right? In being a balanced human being, either a father or a mother or a male or a female, is being able to understand that, look, diversity, the two, right? In the context of diversity now, can work together and give the best of experience or get the best of experience. And same, it works in the workplace. All right, Lara.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tayo, for that. Amazing. We already have feedback from Amao in the chat box. Thank you so much for this session, one of your best presentations. We want more of this. Kudos to our speaker. Yewande, your hand is up. You want to unmute very quickly and ask your question or share your thoughts. Over to you, Yewande.
So I have a question. Thank you very much. I found the session very insightful. And as you're saying some things, a lot were going through my head. So I remember when you talked about you do some work, your team members do something, and then you like doing it yourself, and then you later realize that you were not helping your team members, and then you had to re-strategize. That's one. And then another thing was also in terms of diversity and all. So I have a question, right? Most times, and I hire, and most times people always say, hire someone that you can work with, right? And so you now also talked about hiring mini yous. So a lot was just going through my head. So my question is this: I've worked with team members that, let's say, some people are very proactive and some people are just very laid back. Not as if they don't know how to do their work, but you just have to keep pushing them and pushing them. And for me, maybe because that's not like a me, I just prefer hiring people that can just work on their own, and I don't have to keep going back to say this and that and all of that. How is it wrong that is it like a bias? Because I'm always talking about bias, but I'm like, there's no way I will hire someone I can't work with. And also there's no way I want to hire someone that is a bit laid back. And I'm talking for someone from an angle where I've had to inherit a team. So I wasn't part of the hiring process, but hey, I'm stuck with you guys and I'm having to deal with this kind of stuff. And with this era of toxic leadership, we are very careful. So most times, as I'm giving the work, I'm doing the work myself. I'm actually in front of my laptop now. And so when you talked about it, I'm just like, okay, what is going on and how can you grow past this? So yeah.
Fantastic. All right, fantastic. So you're not alone. I've also been there. And the central point of what you're talking about first is engagement. So let me quickly debunk it. It's not our fad employee engagement and all that, right? So I'm talking about how you are engaging, right? Your level of engagement with your team, either as a whole or individual members of the team. There are 3 levels of engagement, all right? You have the level at the end, you have the level at the head, and you have the level at the heart, right? So the level at the end is when there are complementary skills, right? What you can do, what they can do, what you can't do, what they can do, what they can't do, what you can do, right? And sleeves rolled up, getting to work. Do you understand? You have some skills. You can actually plan out or map out strategy. They can't so much get to be in a strategy retreat, and be able to be picking and flowing along with C-level as they can, but you can map up a tactical plan and they can come and execute, right? Even if you can also execute, but you're supervising. Do you understand? So skills and level, right? But what drives the level of hand level, right? Or the degree of quality or the success of the hand level of getting things done, of getting the mission accomplished, right, is also the head level, okay? And when we talk about the level, we talk about the level in which people are in agreement, right? So they don't just know that, oh, there's awareness. So hand level awareness, you can do this and all, but there's an agreement with what the mission goal is about. And this is where what you talked about, the fact, okay, I hire people, I cannot work with people that I don't vibe with. Same thing as every one of us. You cannot work with people you don't agree with, right? But you can agree with people that are not like you. I take that again. You cannot but work with people you don't agree with. Means that you should work with people you don't agree with, right? Do you get what I mean? Sorry, you should have with people that you agree with. That's what I'm trying to say. You should work with people you agree with. Note, but you don't have to necessarily always work with people like you. There's a difference. There's a difference you being like me. There's a difference between you different from me, but we can agree. Do you understand? Yeah, and we can agree that what? We can agree that excellence in work is good. We can agree that we're a service department that, hey, if we drop the ball, it has a domino effect. We can be agreeing on that, why we are not even the same, okay? We can agree that what? That if someone is late in passing the baton of task, it sets a precedent of that, whatever, almost derailing and going off track. We can agree. But guess what? We might be totally different. Personality-wise, we're different. You're an extrovert, I'm an introvert. You're someone that likes all the information before you move. I'm like someone that if I have half of the information, but I clarify the end goal, my disposition in things is that 50%, I will always want to attempt to find the answers on the move. While you might be, you want to find the answers before you move. Those are differences.
but we might agree that as long as we are on the journey to finding that answer, we must do a delivering excellence. You see the difference? The third level is at the level of the art, right? Which is the level of alignment. So this way it even gets tricky. So you should ideally, the best of teams are people that are different from you, but are one with you in the heart. Meaning you've moved them from a level of agreement to a level of alignment. Because why? People can actually agree with you and their heart, they can say yes, 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 and their heart is not in it. When people's hearts, and so find leaders that actually say, or find followers that say, oh, if this person wasn't assigned as our leader, we'll still die for the person, right? Or we'll still go to war for this person on this task. Maybe they've worked with the person for over a long time, most times, and then they blend and all that. They've trusted, that team has been tested, loyalty from floor.
Well, are you still there?
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me? Yeah, so I think that, has been tested, so that's what I would say, that don't be bothered about what you should bother about is that people that are like me in the context of, people that tend to, I'm looking for people that, they see things the way I see things. Excuse me. They process things the way I process things. In fact, I should be looking for people that don't process things the way I process things, but I can work with. So I suggest that go back to, I know you have them written somewhere, you actually know them, but write them down. What do I need with people I can work with, right? Write it down. Oh, I need people who understand service excellence. If that's it, write it. I need people who have this skill. Write it. I need people who can always give me feedback, let me know what is happening, status update without having to ask. Note it. I need people who are loyal to me, and this is how this is how I think loyalty, and this is the expressions I would want to see that I will say somebody loyal. Write it. So you note it, right? And then when you are interviewing, all you are looking for are those things apart from also other things of competencies and all that and stuff. In fact, when someone answers a question differently from you, or when you have framework something, and check yourself when you always want to feel that, if it were me, I would have wanted to, start this sequence this way, even though you got what I asked and all. In fact, don't shut that person off because the person did not process the thing like you would have processed it, because the person is different from you. Be careful with the person that is exactly the way that you asked the question and the way you processed it in your mind, that the answer should come, that the person answered it. That person is like you. So you need to process it that, hey, right? It's okay if you have a large team of 10. If you have 1 or 2 people like that, that's okay, right? And then you have different people. But packing 8 or 7 people like that, if you have a team of 2, it's best that you are the only one like that in that team, okay? Let the others have different thinking styles, processing styles, problem-solving approach. But guess what? They are in agreement with you on things that matter. How you like to be worked with.
Wow.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I hope that answered your question.
And superb.
Right.
Very
Awesome.
well.
You got more than you requested for. Thank you so much, Babati, once again. While our time is up, we'll spend 90 minutes listening to Tayo. Really, it feels like we started like 5-10 minutes ago. As our usual practice, we would like a member of the audience to just go off mute and take the vote of thanks on behalf of everyone that has learned from Tayo's experience today. Any volunteer from the audience, you want to just go off mute and take the vote of thanks right away. Anyone? Part of what Tayo has spoken about is courage. diversity conscious leaders, leaders who are courageous. So anyone wants to go off mute and just take the vote of thanks. It really has been an impactful session for you in the last 90 minutes. And you just want to express how you feel. You want to just express your learnings and appreciate our speaker today. Okay, Dolapo. Oh.
Thank you, Coach Lara.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I'm not camera
Sorry,
ready, so I'll
Dolapo.
take permission.
Yeah. It's fine, Dolapo. So you went off mute before Toyin. Thanks, Toyin, for also volunteering, but Dolapo went off mute first. Okay, Dolapo, over to you.
Mr. Tayo, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. I think the topic you chose and the way you expressed it with your vulnerability has shown us that you've given us permission to grow. You've given us permission to be better leaders. And for this and many more things, thank you so much. Thank you for showing us that with curiosity and just having the right frame of mind, we can be better diversity conscious leaders. And in doing that, not only do we inspire others to go above and beyond, but truly by the time we look at our own selves in the mirror, we feel better with ourselves. Thank you for the tips that you've given on how we can do many things without dropping the ball, like trusting people to run the organizations, and how the one thing that is our core, like how you do your training, your research and training slides yourself, that you've given us, at least you've given me permission to focus on my strengths, still do all the other things, trusting people who believe in the vision of what I'm trying to do them. Not only have you given us strategy, you've given confirmations of some of the things we're doing right, you've given insights on what we can do better at, and all in all, I think the biggest takeaway for me is you've removed every excuse I could have had. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you and everything you do. Thank you to the entire network and everyone that has chosen to show up. Anyone who was in here, they've missed. We should gist them on the chats on everything they have missed. Thank you, Coach Lara, for the opportunity. God bless us all.
They've missed. Thank you so much, Dolapo, for taking the vote of thanks. Very articulate. Thank you. Baba T Baba, 40 for 40. We are in here ready to support. If there's any way we can be of support, do know that you have a team of people who really care about you, and we are ready to support you any day, anytime. Thanks so much for making Father's Day memorable and special yet again for all our participants on today's call. Thank you so much. God bless you. More anointing, more wisdom. Thank you. And thanks to all our participants. It wouldn't have been successful without having you all join us, all our seniors in the house, YF, MOJ, TDA, Stella, Bolanle, and all our professional colleagues in the house. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your Father's Day celebration and have a great week ahead. Whilst enjoying, it'd be nice for us to just booga together, as we end, as we end the session. So please relax. Let's take some time